Hey friends, it's day 454 of my fitness journey. Today we got a recovery run in Tokyo. It'll be 2 miles, so let me put you on my head and we'll get to work. Every day there's a struggle to show up. I don't even know what mine is today. I have no excuse to be grumpy about today. Maybe it's because my lift yesterday wasn't optimal, because I didn't wake up on time, because I had an evening meeting. Definitely didn't give myself any grace with that. It's so funny how we could just stack all these little micro negative mindsets that then self-exclude us from actually doing what we are capable of and should do. It's all mental half the time. But good morning, friends. It's about 5:10. We woke up at 6. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. It's 5:10. We woke up at 4. Now I tried a new technique to help with my bedtime to get more rested sleep. I put my the night, and he's a lot of challenges like sleeping. Massages. Out, but a lot of times I crash. And one second, I want to make sure I'm not connected to that Wi-Fi. Good. A lot of times I crash because I'm exhausted around 8 o'clock, and then then I wake up at 1 or 2 in the morning. It's a mess. So what I did last night is I just set an alarm for 9 p.m. It gave me an hour to calm him down, be with him. I did fall asleep. Alarm went off. He still wasn't in bed, but it was enough to get me out of bed and be like, all right, I'll see you, buddy. And then I slept from 9 until 4. So it's like a solid 7. Plus, you know, half an hour with him from like 8:30 to 9. People are like, when do you sleep? Because they look at all the crap I do. And when I wake up and it's like, whew, you can still make sleep happen. You just gotta figure out where it fits. You gotta prune things out of your life, decomplexify. But it is possible to run your own business, do content creation, live in Japan, raise 4 kids, and genuinely enjoy the journey. At least that's what I try to do. So we'll see. All right. Whew. It's funny, the last 2 live streams I've done, I've had people put on their shoes and either run with me or commit to running after. That's been really cool. Really cool to see taking those steps in their own personal fitness journey. Just because trying to take mine. Oh, you can't see my physique because you're floating on my head. But I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'3", about 300 pounds. I don't know, what is that in kilos? 150 kilos, something like that. Running doesn't come easy. It's incredibly challenging for me. But we're here. We're moving. we're making progress. And every day showing up and doing something we don't necessarily like. Something that's not necessarily fun. But in all seriousness, our Wednesday runs are pretty light and breezy. We intentionally lower the bar on Wednesday just so that we can continue to make diligent, incremental progress. So for my regimen or rhythm, Mondays I do my long runs, which is a lot different than other people. A lot of people, if they do long distance running, they set up their long runs on Saturday. And what I found is like Saturday's family. Like that's the time when I want to get a quick workout at home and be present for my kids. Let my wife sleep in. So stacking mileage on Saturday is just not the right call. So instead I wake up at 4, eventually 3:30 or 3, and go out and do the long run first thing on Monday. Go to bed early on Sunday and knock it out. And then Tuesday is our first lift day. Oh my god, that's a big spider. I'm connected to it still. It's net, it's just too high. And for me, it's at face level. I know, you're like, why is he so afraid of a spider? It's like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to be wrapped up in its web. It's not gonna hurt me. But it's just like, ick. That's an ick feeling. And because I'm so tall, even if there is someone who woke up earlier to walk down those stairs, they don't clear the face level ones for me. But after doing my lifts on Tuesday, Wednesday is my light recovery run. So we do like 2.1 miles, so maybe like 4K if you're a kilometer person. Whew. Breathe. And I just try to get out of my body, clear everything out, find good mechanics, good form, low impact, and do some good functional cardio. Every once in a while, it's rare if I feel sprite, I tack on some extra distance, but again, that's super rare. But it's really just like a check the box workout. Now I do embed some reflection in it as well. Running is a bit of a spiritual practice for me. So I will often, like halfway, sit by the river, spend a little bit of time in prayer, just in my head, while y'all enjoy some river sounds for like 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, 5 minutes. Mindfulness for 30 minutes, that's crazy. But yeah, I carve out some space for inner faith, inner spirituality, reflection, and then we jump back to it. Whew. Tired. It's a good time though. We're happy we're here. Are we? We got puffy clouds today. There's a typhoon coming. So we've had some splurts of rain and heavy winds. But then when parts of the storm clear, you get these beautiful clouds. It's awesome. Let's see. Oh, these birds today. All right. Here we go. Making progress. So, cool thing about the recovery run, he naturally builds up lactic acid when you work out. That's what makes you feel like sore and achy. So Monday we did 8 miles, which is like 12K. Yeah, maybe 12 kilometers. It's a long run. It took like 2 hours. Brutal. We got it done. Super proud of ourselves. I really didn't think I was gonna cover that much ground, so we're making good progress towards our half marathon in early October. That's gonna be wild. But when you run, you build up lactic acid, so even going from that into a lift is tricky if we have any lunges or any legs, actually any core as well. It's just a hard-hitting workout. So this Wednesday run lets us kind of settle, lets us move gently and athletically at a mild pace. Rainbow. Nice. That's fun. Double rainbow all the way. But we're just working out all the lactic acid today. And then because it's only like 2 miles, it's like a 35-minute run. Maybe 40 minutes because we sit by the river over there. So what's great about that is it gives us a check the box workout. That every day we're not putting up 5+ miles and everything feeling like it's this unbearably long workout. At least Wednesday we can tell ourselves, hey, you got a shorty, just go out there, run your little tower, which is right behind that tree, turn around, chill by the river, and then based how you feel, jog back or walk back, because both help you recover and start your day well. Get a little nature, get a little air, clear your head, figure out what you want to be when you grow up, what you're going to do with your life, how you're going to be a good husband, good father. Yeah, go shake all that out. So that's kind of where I'm at in this journey right now. So we're working on this. It's like, just move, make some progress, keep forward momentum. I was gonna say it's not a life-changing run, but making your program accessible to you, like personalizing it, embedding lighter days and harder days. Some people need that variability. You know, there's some folks that can lock in an hour and 20 minutes of hot yoga every day because of what it does for them. I'm not that guy. I need a variety, but also holistic routine and rhythm. I need to know what my Monday feels like, what my Tuesday feels like. And sure, you can mix it up, but for me, I kind of like the progression I've built, and it still challenges me every day in a different way. Here's our best friend, Oji-san. Ohayou gozaimasu. He's out here every morning, man, taking care of himself at 5:30. Get it. Respect it. So I think sometimes we put all these artificial barriers or expectations in our way of what it takes to actually get healthier. And we set all these rules based on what we see other people do, as opposed to like, what would help me show up the most for myself. Like, I remember once I asked my dentist, like, what's the best toothpaste? You know, Colgate or Crest or any of the other ones. And he was like, the one that you like the most because you'll use it. You know, sometimes we could overanalyze, over-optimize certain things, but just not do, like, not start. I gotta craft a perfect program. It's gotta start on my Monday. And then what happens? Something comes up, you miss a Tuesday workout, and you're like, well, I can't just skip it. Then you try to stack a double, then you get burnt out. Then your days don't match your weeks perfectly. You fall off, and then you have to wait till another Monday to come around. So for me, lowering the bar on this workout specifically in the middle of the week keeps me in it. It's the toothpaste, I guess, that I like the most. Because I like that I get to get out on my feet, traverse a distance. I feel looser afterwards. I still get to clear my headspace by running and talking with you, hanging out. And then tomorrow we have another lift, which sucks. Friday is the hell of all hell in our program. Yeah, Friday's got good vibes, so let's ruin them every morning with high interval endurance training. It's just like the worst kind of run you can imagine, so stay tuned. I live stream them. It's brutal. That's a push day. That is legitimately a dreaded run format. Destiny comes anyway, you know, like, it's just so bad on every level. But it prepares me for my Monday runs. Saturday we lift again, and then on Sunday, that's another low bar day for me. I wake up, I do my stretch routine, I foam roll for about 25 minutes while I watch church online. And I put on a headset, an Oculus, and I play Beat Saber as long as I want. 30 minutes to an hour. I just flow through some cardio, but it's fun. One second. So I flow through those workouts, and it, you know, it's calorie burn, but actually for me, Beat Saber is like reflection. Like, that's my meditation. I can do one thing, kind of get bored with it because I'm too good at it, and then let my brain drift to all the things I'm trying to do. So Sunday Beat Saber kind of puts together my headspace. There you go. So that's like 1.1 miles. We ran that kind of quick, honestly. Oh yeah, oh, that's 1.4 miles. 14 minutes. Whew. That's actually a little quick. So what we're doing now, for anyone new here, welcome. So 3 folks watching, hope you're doing well. If you are chatting, sometimes my phone is hateful with messages. No worries if you're just lurking and enjoying a nice run in Tokyo. Happy to have you here, friends. Thanks for the engagement. But my name's Joe. Welcome to the frenzy of my world as I learn how to raise 4 kids in Japan. This is one of my best fathering decisions I make every week, is to get away from my children so that I can rest and reflect and refuel, so I can get back in there and be a parent. It's kind of like between rounds of boxing where you sit on a little stool and somebody like squirts water on your face. That's what this is for me. But just to give you a little lay of the land here, okay? I live out that way. This is Tokyo on this side. Tokyo is actually a city, but it's also a ward or a state. We call them prefectures. Actually, Tokyo has multiple wards not named Tokyo, like Shibuya's a ward, Ginza's a ward, but then Tokyo itself is actually like a state, like Ohio or New York. But New York's a terrible example because there's New York State and New York City. Actually, it's a perfect example because you have Tokyo State, Tokyo Prefecture, and Tokyo as a city. But then, if you cross this river, you're actually crossing state lines. I say this every live because there's always new people here and I think it's cool. But if you cross the river, which we do, there's a blue bridge way the hell that way that we run to and cross over for our long run days. And then that is Kawasaki. So if you know like the motorcycle brand Kawasaki, and they make other stuff like snow blowers and crap, that is the city of Kawasaki, but it's part of Kanagawa Prefecture. Kanagawa and Tokyo are both prefectures or states, and then Tokyo City, you get it, you're fine. So anyway, friends, just to give you a little bit of context on me, first of all, we got beautiful clouds. It's like typhoon season, so we get in this nice puffiness coming in because Tokyo Bay is way out that way, so storms are blowing in. We got birds, which is rare actually, kind of nice, and it's wicked hot in the summer, normally getting up to around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But happy you're here. For me, running has been kind of a crazy journey. I have a lot of spinal issues. I'm also 300 pounds. I did multiple years of physical therapy and training to learn how to run safely for someone of my body type, and that's one of the reasons I count my days. Like I'm on day 440, it's in the description. What is it, 445? What are we celebrating today? 454. Oh, I gotta give myself more credit. My day 0 was the start of a half marathon training program that I actually filmed every workout for 116 days in a row, curated it in a Google class. Eventually I'm going to migrate that to a platform called School. It's 100% free, so if anybody wants to train up for their own half marathon, I make that accessible because I think anyone should have a pathway to get more strength, more stability, and be able to traverse the distances they desire at the pace that's right for them. And running can often be really exclusive to people, like people get pruned out of it, so I try to equip people in that space. I also, like, at my lowest with spinal injuries, like I could only run half a mile. I was getting epidural injections in my spine every other week to work on pain. I was waking up every 2 hours, like unable to roll out of bed, like the whole thing, which is a mess. And on those bad days, I would put my shoes on anyway. I'd go run half a mile with bad form. And then I'd sit on a bench by a river or abandoned railroad tracks, depending on whether I lived in Chicago or Ohio. And I'd just like sit and wrestle with God and pray for a little bit. And then I would run back. And that was my rhythm. To figure out, you know, why God, with everything, why all this suffering, why all this pain, what the heck are you doing in my life? But it kind of clarified my vision and keep me in the good fight. So now what I do on these runs is I actually come out to this river just on Wednesdays. This is like our Wednesday exclusive because we do our light recovery days. And I give you all like 5 minutes of just mindfulness, prayer, reflection, depending on whatever context you come from, whether it's an interfaith context, a spirituality context, or lack thereof. We live in such a swipey culture, right? Moving from live to live, video to video, our attention spans get destroyed, and our cities we live in are noisy. So I like to give you all a little slice of nature. We'll go down lower to get you away from street sounds, and we'll just chill by the water. So I'll do that for 5 minutes. For some of you, you'll want more time. For some of you, 5 minutes of stillness is super hard, and that's okay. And I'll pop you on my head and we'll either run or jog back. But for the three of you, whoever you are, whatever your name is, whatever, you know, country you're from, thanks for being here, friends. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the journey and hope to see you more as things build out. But again, welcome to Tokyo. The river's super high today. Normally it's not crossing over this. Where do I want to put you? What's the best view spot? Let's go check out this side. Yeah, I got a lot on my mind, so I'm going to give myself permission to kind of reflect my way through it and let you do the same. Look, Amazon made it to Japan. Yeah, I could not live in Japan without Amazon. Oh, interesting. The river is so high. Normally, like, you could walk around down here. Not today. All right. Well, I think this is the best lookout we got, but you can't see the city. Let's go back. I'm being particular for some reason today. Just completely silly. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna climb back up the hill, go down to the other side. I don't know, it's like the aesthetic. I want to get the sun and the clouds and the city. Set the location for you. Y'all are like, just figure it out. I know, it's hard to be still. I have 4 kids in a 3-bedroom apartment with no separation. Here we go. This will work. Don't fall, don't die. Oh God. All right, let me sit down. I rarely sit for these, so this will be fun. All right, pop you on my head, get you a nice view. All right, friends, it's 5:36 a.m., at least for me. I'll give you till like 5:42-ish, so enjoy. All right, friends. What? 3 people are still here? Y'all are crazy. It is beautiful, isn't it? Hey, it's exactly 5:42. That was great. I got what I need. You got what you needed, hopefully. If you had any fun revelations about life, let me know. Let's head back. Let's go be a dad. So we got maybe like 0.7 miles to get back. We just got to go up over those stairs, up another flight of stairs. That guy's clearly lost. He's ended up in the river instead of on the sidewalk like a normal human. Oh. Whoa! Found a hole. It's amazing what happens when the ground disappears, but your body doesn't anticipate that. Do we to jog or to walk today? It's just so darn nice out. Yeah, let's jog it. Let's jog it. We're still feeling Sprite. Whew. Nice and mellow, like a happy fella. Let's get to it. I hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for hanging out with me in Japan. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where you live. Heck, maybe you don't even conform to the constructs of day names. Got some super postmodernists out here. Let's get to it. I always feel rude pressing the crosswalk sign and stopping all these lovely people trying to go to work. Okay. Now I really want to focus. It's funny focus. Going mild, mellow pace. Just like it's a half marathon. Today is recovery. That's the focus. Beautiful, beautiful day in Tokyo. Compared to what we've had, probably half the sweat. Doing some breath work. It's funny, there's a guy over here, wakes up super early, maintains all his flowers, trims them, waters them, manicures it. Sometimes gives me a look of judgment because I'm a big white man running with a camera in my head. There's just a lot of elements that make me stand out. It's strange, but one day I saw him wearing a shirt that said 26.2 and I was like, hey, I ain't never hit that number. I made it to like 22.4 and then they canceled my marathon attempt for thunder and lightning. It's pretty devastating, and I keep considering registering for a full. That's a long. There's a lot of load and strain on my wife when I have runs that are that long. It's too long. Let's keep plunking along. Because I was. Alright. And I think once we get to the fun river, we'll walk. I could run it, close it out, but it feels too rushed. Let's cross this road. Here we go. I gotta remind you, like, the game today is recovery. We want to work into our muscles, but we want to make sure we can come into tomorrow's lift fresh, and that we've kind of broken through all the inertia. A lot of folks don't realize is, like, you're going to be fighting the inertia of your body the rest of your life. Inertia is just an object's desire to keep resting if it's rested, which means it doesn't want to move if it's not moving, or to stay in motion if it is in motion, unless acted upon by another force. Thank you, Sir Isaac Newton. And a lot of times our body's inertia is to become more and more comfortable, more and more sedentary. Unfortunately, downstream that kills us prematurely. There's a whole bunch of different paths to death associated with lack of movement, lack of motion. But because some of these impacts can feel so far away, it actually is really difficult for a lot of people to shift their motivations and shift their behavior, because so much entrains us to be socialized as sedentary, overeating, ride a desk kind of people. So, like, society sets the conditions, and it's hard for us to break free of that. So I have a lot of empathy for how easy it is to get stuck into those mindsets, to be limited, and to honestly experience pain because of it. It's like, choose comfort now and pain later, or choose, I'm even gonna say, discomfort now, because you don't want to be training in the realm of pain, at least not usually, but choose discomfort now and less pain later. The end is hard, and it comes for all of us, but we can extend the end. And you know, I like the idea of being able to run and play with my grandkids, because there's times where it's hard for me to run and play with my children. Right? There are certain movements that are more vulnerable when you have the back injuries and the knee injuries that I have. Even for some reason right now, these stairs don't feel good on my right knee, which is very strange, because my left knee is the one I injured. So I'm like, what's going on with you? But setting that long-term vision and then optimizing your present behavior to reach towards it, it's so hard, because we can't make decisions to exercise based on how we feel. Just like we can't make decisions to eat based on how we feel. If you follow feeling drives you to immediate pleasure, a little hit of dopamine. And when you live in the immediate, you die sooner. You're like, can you really say that? It's like, yeah, it's cause and effect. Like, and cause and effect doesn't care about your preferences or your perspectives. It's just effect. You know, so when our doctors tell us we're in a certain risk factor because of how much we weigh, they're right, but the delivery doesn't do anything to address behavioral modification. Telling someone they have a problem that they already know doesn't help them progress towards a better life. It just makes them feel shame, makes them feel trapped, and then they go back to the momentary comforts the tiny dopamine hits of a bucket of ice cream and Netflix and chill. Then they wreck their sleep. Then they wake up late. Then they start their day flat-footed. Then they wheeze when they walk up the stairs. I say all these things because I've lived all these things. Like, the loop's perpetual. Like, I was working with a spinal surgeon. He was giving me epidurals in my back for pain. We're talking through, you know, how these injuries came to be, how compressed my discs are, what treatment pathways, and how they were progressing towards surgery. And like, knobs that I could turn were diet and strength and conditioning intentionally to strengthen core and surrounding back muscles to lift load off that region, to learn how to lift correctly. You know, change, take some of that impact off, restabilize your back. Or do you want to progress towards more epidurals every week for pain, and then eventually them injecting a needle in the center of your disc to dissolve a portion of it so that it can kind of shrink in a width direction inward, so it's not pushing on your spinal cord, but then there's less material in there to support vertical load, so you're making it a tiny pancake instead of a wide flat pancake, to eventually spinal fusion, where that mobility is gone forever. They're tearing through muscle tissue. Even if they do it orthoscopically, like through a small port, they still have to work through back muscle tissue. Like, things aren't the same. Or do you want to learn how to eat different, move more, build strength, change your form, right? Do you want to reset all your conditions? And for me, I was like, well, what's going to give me the most mobility and longevity with my kids? It's like, I gotta figure my shit out. That's why we're out here at 5:55 in the morning, and why we're on day 554, because we're gonna have to hit day 1000 and day 2000 and day 3000 to keep strengthening and building up my body, to keep cutting weight safely, gradually, to keep reducing load and increasing strength around my spine and regressing symptoms. So if spinal surgery happens, it's way downstream, like when I'm old and hobbly anyway, not when I'm 35 or 40 or 45 or 50. Why not bump stuff like that out into 60s and 70s, if that? Well, you can't if you don't change. So anyway, these are all my struggles. Like, even right now, I'm like, okay, how do I actually optimize diet? Like, I'm in a season of going back and forth about actually counting what I do, because I know that I could be making more progress if I actually measured. There's a value in like intuitive eating and learning that skill set, but for me anyway, intuitive eating drifts towards like another bite, and intermittent fasting's not like a magic switch. So I'm still kind of working through all that. Oh no, we have hiccups. How gozaimasu. That's where we're at, friends. It's like, you gotta wake up, you gotta do the tough stuff. You gotta get better incrementally. Because if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your rolly office chair, and you drive 40 minutes each way in your car, and you hit Chick-fil-A on the way home, these are all paths of momentary ease and long-term pain. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that will tell you that, because I had to learn how to tell myself that, right? But once you start telling yourself that and making small shifts and finding the right metrics to measure, which is like, oh, I can do a full depth push-up and I'm not on my knees. That's pretty cool. I can do 2 of those. I can do 35 of those, right? Oh, I can walk half a mile. Oh, I can walk a 5K. Oh, I can run 8 miles. Like, it just takes a stupid amount of time and like really that when people come on these lives and they see the way that I work, that I can model the lack of ease associated with the things that I do so that they're motivated to do the same, but that they feel not judgment, but really like empathy, because I'm still a big guy, right? I got some stuff going on, but my form's pulled in a lot. It's actually pretty cool. I haven't stepped on the scale in a while. I keep saying I'm 300 pounds. I think I still am. But I will say the impact on my joints, my spine feels less, so who knows where I'm at with that. That's part of my next journey, I think. I've spent 450 days working on strength, endurance, distance, consistency, and not optimizing for weight loss. I wanted to control all the inputs and not change everything at the same time. And now that a lot of those inputs are very consistent and locked, I am looking at like, all right, now how do we optimize food? Normally you got to do both at the same time to get progress, but then it becomes like a fad. You do it, burn out, and quit. So we're on the next stage, the next journey. But hopefully you're here for it, friends. But thanks for being here. Nice shadow. I'm going to drop off.